Hello. Welcome to a new format here that I'm going to utilize from now on to make more content because I need more lower effort content. I would like to talk a little bit about the stuff that I use for, you know, making content for other people. I don't know, something like that. Today, I would like to talk about the best 5,000 pesos I've ever spent in my life. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's pretty good value for money, I gotta say. This thing, I bought this around 2013 or 2014. It's almost 10 years ago. So this thing is pretty old now, but I gotta say, this definitely was very good value for money. Let me explain. So first off, what is this thing? It's called the Zoom H1. It's from a Japanese company called Zoom. They make good audio equipment. And this Zoom H1 is the most basic model of their range of field recorders. And it now has a updated version called the Zoom H1N, which I will buy if I ever break this thing. Now, what is a field recorder? Basically, it's a standalone portable audio recording device that is used mostly for filmmaking, for production, etc. And you could also find other Zoom field recorders. Now, the purpose of the Zoom H1 is that, first of all, it is a field recorder. That's what it's designed to do. It can be used as a microphone for interviews and presentations. You could also record lectures, audio examinations. You could use it to record your own ideas. It's a stereo microphone in this arrangement that makes it very good for recording audio in rooms, and it can also be used for voiceover recordings, just in case you don't have something like this condenser mic or a dynamic mic like this, a higher quality. You can just record with this in an acoustically treated room, or you could do what I did back in the day, which is put a blanket over your head in the bathroom. And you could also use this thing as a backup shotgun microphone in case you don't have a shotgun microphone, but you do have a camera. Although as a shotgun microphone, it's not very good. You could use this as a USB microphone. You could plug it in to the USB, although this particular model, it's fairly primitive. It's got a USB mini connection. More on that later. This is the Zoom H1 being used as a USB microphone. As you can see, here's the mini USB connection. I gotta hold it a little steady because the connection's a little iffy. And here's the audio with some processing, Hey, it works. Now, the features of this thing is that, number one, as I've shown, it's got a stereo audio pickup in this configuration, which gives a pretty clean sound, and it can record up to 96 kilohertz 24-bit wave format audio, which is great. Yeah, you got switches here. You got low cut, they got auto level, and you could switch between wave format and MP3 format in case you need to fit more audio when you're going for really long recording sessions. Low cut, basically what low cut does, puts down the sub bass, the sub lows. So whatever rumbling noises like air conditioning, generators, and so on, it can cut off some of it, any sort of background humming noise. And the auto levels, just in case, like some people talk quietly, some people talk loudly, this will help level it out. But I think if you have this like right to your mouth, you don't need auto level. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, because especially with really loud background noise, I found it not prudent to have auto level on. And of course you can adjust the input level. So you could have it from like 0 to 100. You may need to do some trial and error with the levels here, what is best. I found like around 37 to be the best when you have this right to your mouth. More on why I chose the number 37 later. You could switch it to MP3. Records in micro SD, as you can see here. As you can see, I got a 4GB card here. You turn it on with this switch. You pull it down and hold it, and it'll turn on. 48 kilohertz, 24-bit, and it can record like almost 4 hours. Wait, let me change this. Yeah, so 48 kilohertz, 16-bit audio, well over 5 hours, almost 6 hours. Like I said before, it has a mini USB connectivity. Ew. The H1N, the updated version, it has micro USB connectivity. Double ew. I hate micro USB. What can you say? This is pretty old, but it is reliable. So I'll give it that. I'll give this one a pass. Also, it is powered by one AA battery. Not even like an internal lithium ion battery that will go flat in 5 years or something. It's just a AA. You can just put an energizer in there and it'll be fine. You can use it. You could also plug in your headphones here and you could adjust the volume, or you could listen to your recordings through this speaker. It's all right. You could hold it up to your ear. Like, I guess you could replay your recordings through these buttons, and also you can delete them. If you're recording and you don't want anything to screw up your recording, you could actually slide the power switch up here to hold, and that turns off all the buttons. See that? So it just keeps on recording without interruption, and then you just pull it back down to turn off the hold feature. Also, you have a 1/4 20 thread tripod shoe mount here, so you could put it on top of your camera, on a mount, you know, on a mic stand, whatever. This is very convenient device. What have I used the Zoom H1 for? For instance, I used to have quite the vlogging setup. Yeah, here's my old one. That Nikon D5100 no longer works. The shutter's dead. It's broken now. Yeah, I used to have that DSLR camera with the Zoom H1 on the side on a mini tripod. It was pretty heavy and it didn't have very good image stabilization. And then I had this setup. I'll show you right now. As you can see, I have an SJ Cam M20, which I still own. I still have this thing. It's great. I love this camera, even though the video quality isn't very good. It's very pixely, very noisy. But you know what? I like this form factor, and this clip is great. I have this action camera on top, and then use something like this, you know, something like this, or maybe a double-headed shoe mount like this. Let's demonstrate with this. Ta-da! This is how I used to vlog. Yeah, here we go. And the camera is shooting while I have the Zoom H1 here for clear audio. I did this because for me, this was the most important thing. Me doing commentary, looking, you know, describing whatever I'm looking at. This gives me a first-person perspective with commentary. This is how I vlog. Nowadays, I have this. This is basically this kind of setup taken to the next level. This is my DJI Osmo Pocket with USB Type-C audio attachment to this microphone that I can bend. And the great thing about this setup, the DJI Osmo Pocket has image stabilization. It's a gimbal with a camera on it, and I could basically vlog like I used to with this. Image stabilization on this is quite all right, but this is the ultimate. Mind you, it does have some problems, you know. It's a tiny camera after all with a really tiny sensor, you know, trade-offs. But hey, look at it. Just look at it. It's so small. I put it in my pocket. It's nice, and I could do commentary here, and I could even flip the mic to the front, you know, in case I'm interviewing someone, which is also something that I used to do with this. I guess the drawback with having it on a shoe is that if you're gonna use it for interviews, you have to unscrew this thing, camera, and then I interview you, question, there, you know. But hey, that's what makes the Zoom H1 quite convenient. And nowadays, I've been using the Zoom H1, as you can see here, for post-match promos in Manila Wrestling Federation. By the way, I am the lead commentator and commissioner of Manila Wrestling Federation, just in case you don't know yet. But yeah, it looks like a real mic. That's a great thing. So people can hold it in their hand, and it looks official, more or less. And this screen right here, it can be covered by your hand, so like it could just be like that. And the foam helps with preventing plosives, you know, the p, as well as maintaining distance, because when you have it like this, people, or like with microphones in general, they would tend to stick their mouth right in there, you know, like they're, you know, doing a freestyle in a rap battle or something. But when you put the foam over, it's a porous material. What happens is people tend to hold it further away from their mouths for some reason. I guess it's because it's, you know, it's not very comfy putting your mouth right there like that, right next to the foam. That's why I like keeping the foam in there. This is still the original foam that came with this thing. With the camera, if this recorded audio is for some reason, you know, crap, you still have reference audio from the camera itself. It's not as good, but there have been times when for some reason the audio in this thing recorded wasn't very good. It was very noisy or something, or actually forgot to press record on it. We had to use the camera audio instead. This year I bought this. Is a Ceremonic Blink 500 Pro wireless lav mic. Yeah, with its own recharging case. Yeah, there you go. And what I would do, I would attach this to the camera, and then I could have this. As you can see, it's got a clip. I can actually clip this to here. And ta-da, this is what I do for MWF. I have 2 high quality audio inputs. So that's what you see right here with Joya over here. So if the recording through the wireless lav mic is crap, you still have this one. If they're both crap, then we're fucked. But that's why I have backups. I'm gonna go get some snacks. Hello, I just got back from 7-Eleven, and I'm gonna have some snacks while demonstrating just how this works with the Zoom H1. I should have done more content like this in the past, but you know, I didn't know what to do with myself. Just take note, if I ever make a video like this again with me sitting here, you know, at this camera angle, at this position, it's likely that I may be diagnosed with a terminal illness or something. I don't know. You know, that's the kind of vibe. It is my vibe. It is my kind of vibe, but I don't know. It may not be your vibe. You know what? Let's do an unboxing right now. I bought books from Shopee. So here's my package. No, we got a couple of Ryan Holiday books here. Yeah. And here's a marketing book, and here's another like business/marketing book. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm just gonna go back in my room. All right, so pros and cons of the Zoom H1 that I've learned about over the years of using this thing. Well, the pros of it is that number one, is very portable. Just look at it. Look at it. It's so nifty. Insanely versatile. I've used it for so many things, and it's quite durable. It's a very well-designed product, and it's pretty efficient with power. Come on, it uses a AA battery. It's great. It's easy to handle. It's basically a microphone. That's all it is. It looks like a real microphone, so you look official as hell. I've used this even as a prop for photo shoots, and it looks all right. Also, the hold function makes this very robust to use in the field. You know, just in case you don't want to accidentally press buttons, you could use that. And it can be used as a USB mic in a pinch. Also, you can Frankenstein the crap out of it. Now, I didn't do this to my Zoom H1, but just look at it. If you really want to attach multiple mics to it, like, you could do that. Like, they came up with a way to do so, but, you know, I don't know if I need to. Hey, the option is there in case you're on a budget and you can't buy additional audio recording devices. Now, the cons of the Zoom H1. For one thing, mini USB. So if you have to transfer files out of this, it's really, really slow. Even worse with the Zoom H1N. Micro USB. I hate micro USB. I call it the vampire because look, it's got teeth, man. It's got fangs. Yeah, and they break easily. Yeah, I hate this standard. Thank heavens for Type-C. Also, nowadays, compared to other recording devices and other microphones, the recordings off of this thing tend to be a little too warm and maybe even muddy, maybe. Also, you need to do some trial and error to determine the optimal input level based on the environment. I found it to be 37 because this thing in particular has an issue with the number 37 for some reason. Like when you go from 36 to 37, if you listen really closely, there's kind of a click, sort of.
If you plug in a set of headphones into your H1, and I actually reproduce this on mine, then change your input level from 36 to 37, you'll hear an audible click. So the Zoom H1 is doing something between those two input levels. Not entirely sure what that is, but in his measurements, he found that 37 produced the best signal-to-noise ratio of any other setting on the H1.
And I found it to be true with my Zoom H1 over here. For some reason it has that, and then because of having watched that video where the issue was described, I keep it at 37. It's the perfect volume for this application. Also, these switches can be flipped unintentionally. Like just now, I use a cable tie so I can clip other things to this thing. I flipped the auto level switch here accidentally. If you're keeping this thing in your pocket, you could flip this switch accidentally. It happens all the time. Maybe even this switch, you want it in WAV files, but you look at your files and they're MP3 and then you realize that this switch got flipped. Yeah, it tends to happen sometimes. And there's also kind of a problem with this now that it's a little older. Every now and then I turn this on, it's only picking up the left channel. The right channel would be out. And even with this thing, right now, the right channel is a little softer for some reason. Like, look at that. Like, as I'm talking, the right channel is softer. Maybe the right channel is going out now. Maybe this thing is starting to show its age. If you see that one of the channels is missing, what I found to be the fix is to get like earphones, headphones with a 3.5 jack. Like this is my Moondrop Aria. Very good IEMs, by the way. I would do this and then pull it back out, and tada, it brings them back. Yeah, for some reason I have that issue. I don't know why. Also, you have to look at the manual every single time. You have to set the date and time. Yes, you can set the date and time on this. Setting the time on this thing is a hardship. It's very complicated, but you know, with how few buttons there are here, of course. But it is what it is. Now, despite me really liking the Zoom H1 and saying that it is the best 5,000 pesos I've ever spent, I wouldn't recommend everyone to buy this thing because this has very particular applications for people with very specific needs. I have very specific needs. That's why I got this thing. But if you're just trying to vlog, just use your phone. Most smartphones these days, they're adequate. They're more than adequate. When you're vlogging, when you're taking like TikToks, when you're taking video for, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook, you know, for social media, you don't need anything more than 1080p, 30 FPS. Hell, you don't even need 1080p. 720p is enough. And the audio tends to be okay. It won't be studio quality like this. I don't know if this is studio quality. My recording environment isn't exactly ideal. You don't need studio quality audio. You just need to be heard clearly. That's it. And your phone's enough for that. And if it's not enough for you, you can actually buy a cheap lav mic like that. You know, this is pretty good. Get one with a TRRS connector, mind you. Like, this isn't it. I use this for other applications. But yeah, you can buy a lav mic with a TRRS connection like this one. A TRRS connection is one where this is what you use for smartphones. 3 rings. Like, this is a TRS connection, 2 rings, right? These got 2 black rings. Get the one with the 3 black rings. That's a TRRS connection. And with that, you can get clearer audio. You could use your phone as a field recorder. and it's perfectly fine. You could even just use, you know, your headset or, you know, your wireless headphones for making calls, and you could use the mic on it. Like, you could use the mic on this.
Now that you have the bobby pins in, run the headset through your shirt. Take the 2 bobby pins and clip it to the collar of your shirt. Take the other end of the cable, plug it into your phone, and that's it. Instant DIY lapel mic.
You could use the mic on this thing. It's fine. Just don't hold it too close to your mouth. Or if you're just recording your thoughts in public, you could do what I like to call the Jonathan Colton method. Jonathan Colton, the guy who sang Still Alive for the game Portal. I learned this from him. You know, pretend to have a phone call just in case you have an idea, you want to record it on audio. You can also get a wireless lav mic like what I showed you here, the Saramonic. You can have high quality audio without having to sync your audio in post. These are great. There are cheaper models that you can buy, and they provide pretty good audio as well. Hands-free, you can clip it onto your shirt like this, and that's great. Like, they have pretty good range. You can hide them if you're wearing like a button shirt. You can hide it inside. Also, here's the audio of the Saramonic Blink 500 wireless lav mic. It's pretty good for this application. Actually, better than, you know, this thing. You can plug a lav mic to it and then use that. I recommend Rode or Saramonic. This brand is great. I like it. Or maybe Boya if you're really budget minded. And it's got a charging case. It's great. I like this thing. One of my better purchases this year. The only problem is this particular model, the screens here are they don't work or they fade. These screens are kind of defective, so I have to go to like a really dark room and look at them like this to see my settings. But at least I have my settings already dialed in with this thing. So anyway, wireless lav mic system, very good for vlogging and even like budget filmmaking. And there's also the Zoom F1, this thing. Let's talk a little bit about this thing. As you can see, I have a cable tie on this. More on that later. It is better than the Zoom H1 if you don't mind using lav mics. If you're using lav mics, this is great. This has a brighter audio quality. It also uses the same kind of power switch here. Turn it on. Ta-da! And it's got extra features that make it superior to the Zoom H1 in some respects. It's got low cut. You can choose your recording format. There's a limiter, hard limiter. That's just what I need. So you can it just records audio and limits it to like -6 dB. And you can also choose the recording level. Like, this is great. This is a nifty device. Also takes micro SD cards. Also comes with a shoe attachment, you know, like, wait a minute. Yeah, it comes with this shoe attachment here, like, ta-da, and you can put it right on top of your camera. You could get this with a shotgun microphone attachment here. This is a really good shotgun mic. So you could just pop this lid off, attach it. And this is a really good shotgun microphone. Like, you could eavesdrop on people's conversations with this shotgun microphone from far away. Like, you could spy on people with this thing. It's kind of dangerous. Not that I recommend that you do that, mind you. You know, this could also be looped around your belt just in case. Now you see I have this clip thing. I attached this myself. This is a clip from a measuring tape here. As you can see, this is missing its belt clip. It's this one. And you could attach a lav mic here, and you could you also have a line out here to headphones or to your camera. It has two main disadvantages though. First, micro USB. See that? You know, the very thing I loathe and despise and abhor. As you can see, there's this cable tie. It's because this battery cover is very flimsy. The latch here is made of plastic with a spring inside. I tried fixing it to no avail. This is a badly designed battery cover. It takes 2 AAA batteries, as you can see here. I got envelopes on mine. Also very energy efficient for what it does, but this battery cover could have been better. Kind of a ghetto solution here. You keep it on with this cable tie. Oh well, it is what it is. It's still a very nifty device. So conclusion, I still love this thing. It's not for everyone, mind you, but for me, it is absolutely perfect, and it continues to be perfect. I'm still using it. Like, I'll be using it this Sunday for our wrestling event. It's a pretty good option for recording audio, but you only should get it if you like do interviews and presentations and whatnot, where having a separate audio recording device is apropos. There are plenty of better options out there for most people. Nowadays, get the H1N if you have to get this, because, well, the Zoom H1, the original, I don't know if anyone is still selling it. I guess you could get it if you buy it secondhand, or get the Zoom F1 instead. Just beware of the caveats. But yeah, this ain't bad either, especially if you're using lav mics instead. And that's all for now for the Zoom H1. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and visit avoider.net for more content. Till next time, stay Tor.